This is another in the series of videos telling you how to use CleverPsych, which is software for psychologists to help them manage their practices. Now, the CleverPsych system does quite a lot of colouring of items, and if you have a look at the help thing, it gives you colours and it tells you what these are for. So for example, you've got various client status colours for a new client, and if you've finished their treatment, and so on. Now, the system basically runs on the old traffic light system where green is good and red is bad, and your colours in between sort of warnings or something you should do something about as well. So for example, if we have a look here, this appointment here has got a red colour, which is bad, and it tells you it hasn't been paid for. So perhaps at this stage they have come in and they've paid cash, so you modify your appointment. Now, and similarly, what you try to do, what the system sort of does in nagging you this way, is to try and get you to do all the right things, and so you're aiming eventually to have everything green over here. And there's well, similar things as you go through. You know, they've attempted this, but they're a Medicare bulk bill, so you really should get round to doing a claim and sending it off, modify again. Now, we actually started off with just my wife running the practice. She really found by the time she had seen clients all week, she wasn't getting around to doing a lot of these things, so we now have a secretary part-time. Bless her heart, she does all the things like putting in the Medicare claims, sending off claims to insurance companies, and chasing all these things up. Now, but generally the system will sort of remind you things haven't been done, and will nag you a little bit about it. As I mentioned in a previous video, if you haven't done a backup for a while, it will remind you about that, and so on. Now, just about everything in the system is configurable. So for example, things like your list of your checklist, your list of tests that you have, and so on, they're all configurable in the system, and you can set these up by going to the configuration things. So for example, there you can edit the list of tests, and the list of tests is just a simple little text file to which you can edit to your heart's content, and add the whatever test you have. Of course, it doesn't make much sense to delete a test if you've actually used it in the database, but then you can save it and close it off. And all most of these things, for example, you've got your titles, your Mr., Mrs., whatever you use against the name. Perhaps in your practice you deal with a lot of people from the defence force. You might want to put in their ranks or something like that. So once again, you go to the titles list, and this list here is just the same as what you've got over here. Whoops, I lost it there somewhere. And so you can add to this if you want to, save it and close it. Now, as you get prompted when you do a save, the system actually reads these little files when you first start up the software. So if you change things, you'll have to close down and restart. So your checklists, there's also an overall major configuration file, which has a lot of things in there, such as here's a list of all the office sort of letters that you can use. You've got lists of all the types of clients you have. So your private client is one, and what you're charging them for a session is $150. There's no tax on it, and so on. So there's several of them. We can also set up settings for mail and SMS and so on, which we'll cover soon. So most things in the system you can change. And in fact, there's a little bit of pain at some stage if you want to get it really working the way that you want to. Now, one of the things we do is that we find that a lot of clients do not turn up for their appointments, especially on a Monday. And so what we do is we send them out a reminder. Now, reminders go out to, first of all, as an SMS message to their mobile. If they don't have a mobile, it will send it to an email if they have one. Now, if you've got broadband, if you're permanently connected to the internet, then you can set it up so it will automatically send these out. And you can set it up to send them out, if you like, the night before or the morning before. In our case, our secretary's there during the day, so we send them out during the day before. And what we do is we ask the clients to confirm whether they're coming or not, and that means if they ring the secretary and says no, I'm not coming, then we can schedule somebody else for that appointment time. Now, the actual message that is sent out as an SMS message or as mail is just another little configuration file, and you just edit the sort of file to say whatever you want. Now, it's like other template files we've covered previously, where you've got certain strings that will be replaced by the values, the actual values that applies to that client. So the SMSs go out to remind people, say for tomorrow, and so all the appointments for tomorrow for the clients, or all the appointments tomorrow who have got SMS numbers will get that message. And after the message has been sent, this field here gets automatically ticked and saved into the database. So if you do it a second time, it won't go out. Now, if you don't have permanent connection to the internet, you can send reminders out manually from here. So you get on your laptop, you connect to the internet, and you tell them to send out all reminders for tomorrow by clicking something here. Now, SMSs are actually sent out by a SMS provider. They're companies who you need to configure in, but typically to send an SMS will cost you something between 5 cents and 20 cents. So you only have to get somebody turn up who wouldn't, and you've paid for it. Now, once you've configured your mail and your SMS, you can do some basic things, like you can just send out mail more or less in a similar sort of way to what you'd use Outlook. But you can do other things, like you can mail to a set of filtered clients. So I can send mail to all your clients you've got in this list over here, or at Christmas time you want to send a Merry Christmas SMS out to all your clients. You can filter, get perhaps all the clients you've seen during the year, and send an SMS out to the whole lot. And similarly for mail, you can send to that list as well if you wanted to. We also have a